Happy what is left of Thursday. Actually, no, it's Wednesday. Ugh. It's Wednesday the 17th. Tomorrow's with 18th and 12 minutes. I should know that because we got this big EDC thing happening in the parking lot of the center, which is going to be weird. Dead Mouse is performing. For those of you who are in that type of music, you'll be there. 12,000 people in our parking lot tomorrow. So, and all of our places are gated off. So even with 12,000 people walkthrough created, none of them can get to the center because they have it fenced off. It's bullshit. But let's get to go. And hey, how you doing, Aaron? Viking King, what's going on? Spider-Man, nice to see you again. What is the name of that little riff that plays at the end of your show? I don't. The end of it, though, I don't know what it is. I think something my sister put together. You talking about this one? Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to ask her because she put it together for me. I know it's something public domain, but I'll find out from her and then I'll post it on there. I actually like it better than my opening one. I actually really um, prefer that one. And sometimes I forget it, but yeah, there it is. Hey, going to bed. Something. All right. Hey, thanks for stopping by, man. Thanks for your time. Yes, be sure to smash the like button, subscribe to my channel, youtube.com/Sci-Fi Center. And obviously, if you're on this network, you're probably already subscribed. If you haven't, if you're a first timer here, subscribe to the Point Action Lounge and hit the like button on both of our streams. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed of it too. I like it. I'll find out what the name is from her. I just asked her, hey, give me. I want an outro because before, remember when I first started this, I didn't have any outro. I just came on the air and I didn't no intro or no outro, and so little by little, I've tried to de-ghettoify the broadcast. I'm a little bit behind on our new set here, but I think once you guys see what I have set up, once we turn this, we put it all over here and set it up with the lights. And like right now, this camera is not the same camera that I use at like the center or anywhere else. This is the camera that pops up out of the computer. But this is not the camera that we're going to be using. I may stick with these mics because out of all the mics, including the ones I paid like a lot of money for, this mic gives me the clearest, crisp sound. But I have a mixer now that I'm gonna mess with some of the audio settings, and I also have another little device that brings in and out video that I've saved. So we're just finding out. I don't have the proper connections yet, so I can't do it yet, but I'm gonna do it. But I'm almost ready to unveil the new setup here. We've improved the one at the store tremendously. A lot of you guys see the yellow backdrop with the comics that we switch around. That's appropriate for that setting. Also, we've also set it up to where on certain occasions, when we finally have in-store guests and in-store activities, we'll have an area inside the Star Wars area where we'll be able to interview guests one-on-one. We like we did with Lloyd Kaufman the other last weekend, but except ordinarily something like that, if they're here local, that will take place in the center, and I'll set up microphones and I'll set up a different camera so that we all won't be on one camera. But yeah, we're making some improvements and gonna get some music and stuff added to it, drops and everything else. All right, Iggy William Powell. If the Los Angeles Lakers lost to the Nuggets, what would you? Okay, let me start over. William, if the Los Angeles Lakers lost to the Nuggets, what would you thought be, and what would you see the Lakers team make your trades? No trades. No trades. No matter how this ends, win or lose, the most important thing for the Los Angeles Lakers to do is to maintain as much of this roster as possible. That is the biggest disadvantage that I had in my mind going in. And it's the biggest disadvantage that they had last night. By the way, I still think they're going to beat Denver. Until I'm shown otherwise. Like if they go down 0-2 tonight, maybe okay, I'll have a little bit more doubt. But nothing I saw the other night scared me about Denver. They suck defensively. They are one of the worst elite defensive teams I've ever seen as far as teams that are 50-game winners that are at this level being in the conference finals. I haven't seen a team that bad on defense since Mike D'Antoni's Suns, the 7 seconds or less. A lot of it had to do with Darvin Ham starting a small lineup and giving them rebounds that they shouldn't have had. He shouldn't have had a 3-guard lineup. He should have had 2 forwards in there, 2 forwards, bigger sides. And another adjustment that they made towards the end of the game, Nuggets were up 21, and then within minutes they were within 3. The Lakers were in 3, and that's because they did some switch up on Jokic. I don't think the Denver Nuggets can adjust to what the Lakers did. I don't think there's a counter adjustment. There's more adjustments that the Lakers can make for Denver than Denver can make for the Lakers. They just don't have that kind of talent. Jokic is great, but he can be countered, and there's no counter for the counter. So it's going to be interesting to see tomorrow night. But no, regardless of whether they lose to Denver or the NBA Finals or whether they win it all, the most important thing about this team is to keep his mind. I don't want to hear about Kyrie Irving. I don't want to hear about a big ticket because getting Kyrie Irving would kill you cap-wide. It kills the depth that you have. So, hold on. I'm getting messages. All right, hold on. Hold on. Let me answer this. Hold on. All right, just had to answer a quick question there. So yeah, no, keep this team. Win, lose or draw, keep this team. All right, what's going on? He's saying hi to Rhea. Let's see. Yeah, my God, that show's going to be bananas. I hope Sister Kim has enough catfish to go around. Well, I hope they open up these gates because they have all their food. They have all that stuff out there. The problem we have is that we were originally told that this is going to be like a block party to support all the businesses in the area. And next thing we know, they have all of our entrances in our sidewalk gated off. Now, our customers can still get in from the back area, but if you're going to put 12,000 people right outside my window, I want them to be able, some of them to be able to come up to the Sci-Fi Center, But hopefully this gets remedied. But yeah, it's going to be crazy. But I don't know how much we're going to benefit from it, even though it's in the parking lot I exist in. The county owns the parking lot, and they have gated off our front section. You can still walk up and down the sidewalk, but the entire parking lot, they put a perimeter inside the parking lot, and where you can't get to any of the businesses. All of us are outside the perimeter, and it's gated. That kind of sucks for us. So, yeah, but that's where I'll be tomorrow. I'm going to stream tomorrow night too. I got a good view of the concert. If I was into that kind of techno, whatever DJ stuff, I would be at the Catbird seat because it's like literally going to be right below me. But who knows? Let's see. All right, to answer your questions about Guardians of the Galaxy 3, it was a good movie in my opinion. Didn't expect the movie going the way it did regarding Drax, Gamora, and Manus. I actually got to see it. To see it, and it's tied with the first one for me as far as best of the series goes. Let's see. By ghetto, I mean by as I get better, because I rewatch every stream. I especially rewatch our Sci-Fi Center Present streams, and I rewatch our Saturday overnight stream. These streams right now are like a casual conversation. There's not really any high, tech drops like that. This is just basically me talking to you guys, answering questions and asking questions of you. But the more produced shows that we put a little bit more planning to, like with the topics and everything else, those are the ones I really want. Like the Star Trek Star Trek Weekly Show. I really want to do that one up, but a lot more the overnighter, Saturday overnighter, and eventually the Sunday night primetime shows. Those are the shows I want to make look, have the nice setting. Show like this is more like, cool. But like I said, when I say decodification, I mean from where I started, because and I look at where we started at, and I look at how the sound quality is, what kind of mics I needed to be, what words I needed to say or not say. Like I said, I have a potty mouth, and if you notice, I've dropped down a lot of that. I mean, I used to use the F bomb like oxygen, so I do less of that. Trying to improve the internet connection, but a lot of that's beyond my control. Cox is what they are, and that's not always great. Adding some drops, adding some music, adding different backgrounds. The semi-matters and Midnight Express are pretty much going to have the same basic backgrounds. The only thing that changes is what time that they air. But like for the topic shows, that we do, depending on what the topic is, going through that, getting a little bit more information, just kind of feeling my way through. So decodification means like that, just basically basic improvements. I don't know. And another thing that we'll be talking about later on this week is if, you would think if the DGA and SAG-AFTRA and all these other guys get involved, that will put the leverage in the favor of the WGA to be able to say, hey, okay, we got, this is going to get worse if you guys don't come to the table with something we need. I really don't know. I was wrong in my predictions last time when this happened. And be honest with you, I thought it would be over by now because no one really, really needs this right now. The actors don't need this. The writers don't need this. The studios don't need this. The streamers, no one needs this. This is the worst time that you could put this on because it affects a lot of big, heavy stuff that's going to be coming out that's already been announced. We're already seeing a lot of cool things that were announced at some of these Comic-Cons, some of these, press conferences, and Disney, D24. Star Wars, all these things that were announced and now were put into production, DC, are now being halted because of the strike. So things that you were thinking were coming out soon or being in pre-production soon have all been jammed up by this. But once again, this is probably the most important strike that they'll ever have because last time they struck, there wasn't streaming. There wasn't the type of apparatuses that we have now. And, I don't blame the writers for wanting a piece of that pie or at the very least figuring out where, where at the table they are, where their leverage is, is artificial intelligence, that's part of the discussion. So this is a weird time, but out of all the strikes that have happened, this is probably one of the most necessary strikes to happen because we got to bring this stuff to the surface. We got to answer these questions, and we have to set some type of legal precedent so that we're not here in 2 or 3 years. If the Lakers win it all this year, they'll go back to back. I think so. I think so because they're doing this with the team that was together for 26 games prior to the playoffs. Everything that they're going now, good or bad, win or lose, is experience that they're going to be able to take with them into next year. So I agree. I can't tell what the emojis are anyway, Reyes. So does the emojis come up? Yeah, they never come up for me. How you doing, Jacob? How are you doing, Azteca? Thought of Eddie Murphy is in talks to start a live action CGI hybrid Black Panther film. I don't know. I've never been a big fan of the Black Panther. Not Black Panther. Freudian slip. Pink Panther movies, but can it be worse than Doolittle or some of the other movies he's done? I started out as a huge fan of Eddie Murphy, his stand-up, his Saturday Night Live skits, Beverly Hills Cop, The Golden Child. The latter half of his career, he's just made movies that I'm not into. Nothing against him. I'm not saying that they're bad movies. I'm just saying that he has drifted off. he has drifted into subject matter that just doesn't appeal to me. But I hope he does well. It's been a while. When's the last movie he's been in? Oh, Dolomite Is My Name, and then he actually got nominated for an Oscar for that one. Then he had Coming to America too. Be sure, yes, smash the like button. Subscribe to both channels that you're watching right now. There's fan screenings for The Flash May 22nd through WB passes. Where are you at, Azteca? We haven't, because you're ahead of me, because we haven't been given our dates for The Flash. I've always assumed that it's going to be a week or so, or maybe, here in Vegas market, we usually get them. So say if the movie releases on the Friday the 16th, then like the 13th is we're going to have our screening, and then the embargo gets lifted. They do that so that, not so many of us are out there, spilling the beans about it. But maybe, I've yet, all I know is that we are going to be doing pre-screening, a pre-screening with The Flash. I don't know how many seats I'm going to have, and our swag, all that kind of stuff. But I'm told it is going to be big, so I can't wait. What's going on, Tim Anderson? Yeah, where are you at? Where you're getting those at? I'm curious because I wonder if because every market is different. I know Vegas market doesn't always do what LA and New York markets do. William thought on Chilwitty. Oh, yeah, he's a guy who played. He played a High Evolutionary, and he played in Peacemaker. Says he would love to play Edric in DCU, the Jekyll and Hyde of DC. He's a good enough actor to pull it off. Hopefully the writer strike is over soon because I'll be disappointed if Deadpool 3 and Godzilla Kong suck due to lack of writing. They won't suck. They just won't happen. They'll be delayed. The same people that are working on them now that are going to make them to what they are going to be the people. They just won't be working on it until the strike is over. So you won't see like a replacement, people that are of lesser quality talent when it comes to the story. It's set. The people who are working on it. It's just that right now nothing can go forward as far as the strike goes. William, did you see the new trailer for Mission Impossible? No, I have not. I heard there's one out. There's one out though. I haven't seen it yet though. Thought of Katie Sagarov says it would be amazing if Kate Blanchett played the live action Satine Craig. I don't know if they're going to do that because Kate Blanchett is the budget will balloon. She's definitely capable of it. That's for sure. Kind of saw that coming, and now Popovich will coach for another 10 years. All 4 Indiana Jones films. I thought they were already on. Wow, I thought they were already on Disney Plus. Okay, there's you on mine now. I have not. Okay, which Evil Dead? I have not seen Evil Dead Rise. All the previous Evil Deads are worth the watch, though, if that's your question. Yeah. I generally have a rule. I've been thinking about this all day. I have a rule. I generally don't talk about other YouTubers, even no matter how large they are, simply because those people have their platforms, and it usually doesn't lead to anything good. But John Campea is a different animal because a lot of what he has done has influenced a lot of us, not just myself. You watch a lot of us that have streamed on different degrees over the last 5, 6, 7 years, even going back to his movie talk days. John Campea has influenced us heavily. So bringing him up is different because he's like a global effect. He does affect more than just, it's not a YouTuber thing. I'm disappointed in that. But his explanation, even though a lot of people are not going to buy it, is sound. He was putting in 14 to 18-hour days into video content, that YouTube, live video content that YouTube was no longer prioritizing, which means he was putting money, he was putting time, and he was putting other resources into a format, this format we're on right now, the live long stream format that YouTube no longer prioritizes. And he's right, because I've looked at our numbers in general. Now our numbers are nowhere near John Campion's. Our numbers are nowhere near Enosh's number when he's on his channel. But you can still, there's a baseline. You can still tell where YouTube aims its viewers and where it prioritizes you. It's largely up to them on how they do it. If they have you on the top of the priority list, you're going to get hundreds of thousands of viewers. If they deprioritize your stuff, because their ad revenue breakdown works in frequency. If they can offer an ad buyer more varieties and more rotations on shorter content, which is what YouTube is prioritizing now, which is short streams, reviews, 5-10 minute clips, content like that, then they can maximize their ad revenue. They can get more ad buys, it's justification. So that's why YouTube is doing that. So I read his explanation, and like I said, he was spending 14 hours a day. His day started at 5:30 and would end around 7:30. He starts doing the notes for the next show. And he's married. He has a wife, and he wanted to spend more time with his wife, more time, that time to do stuff. Now he has his audio thing to where it's like a podcast, and it's still on YouTube. But he's no longer going to be doing the live show, John Campion show, like 10 o'clock, in the morning, everything else, because he also did his numbers and realized a lot of people, not as many people were watching it live anymore. They would watch the overall video, but once again, when you're talking about AdSense and all that, it just didn't make sense for him. So I'm disappointed and I'm saddened because I love his show. I watch it on a daily basis, but hey, I can listen to the show as well. I mean, people have to do what's good business-wise for them. This sucks for me as someone who loves watching the show, but I'll make the adjustment. If I just have the sound on, I can listen to it at the store. I can listen to it, in the morning. So, it sucks, but I understand. William, thought on Arnold Schwarzenegger on why the twin sequel isn't happening? I have not been able to take a look at that, Jacob. Sorry. Jason Reitman fucked it up. Jason Reitman literally stopped the project when his father died. His father wanted to do it so badly. I wanted to do it badly. DeVito wanted to do it badly. See, I have not heard anything about this, but that's unfortunate. Only Flash and Fast X I have to watch now. I am not watching Fast X, even though we're giving away a ton of merchandise for it. I will definitely be watching The Flash. And there's other Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, too. It's coming out. Last Rider Right gave rise to Shudder reality TV shows. Some of the Shudder stuff is pretty good. The other reality TV shows are not that. He also said we had the financing when his father passed away. Jason says, I never liked that idea and put a hold on it. William thought on Terminator says he's done with Terminator. Yes, he is. He was done with Terminator three appearances ago. Yeah. I wish they weren't doing that, but I understand why they're doing that. Yeah, because they're the only ones who can buy it. The Flash got Stephen King's endorsement today. If it weren't clear already, WB and DC are putting in the same amount of backing behind this. Yeah, they are. And like I said, it to me, that's a good thing because if they put their backing behind it and it does well, it could shape the future of things. Okay, you people. Okay, yeah, that did come out. I got some mixed thoughts on that. CM Punk is really starting to get on my nerves now. CM Punk was supposed to be part of that announcement, and because his handler or his partner Ace Steel wasn't invited back to the company, he backed out. That's a rumor, but I think that AEW needed another show. I don't think Rampage was enough. I think they have a large enough roster where they could diversify it. So more TV time for their roster is a good thing. I'm happy to see it. Fourth, send me the flash screening. Send me to the flash screening, Teka. Oh, if you want to come out for it, if you don't live that far away from me, well, you can come to our screening. The passes are for the Globe in Anaheim. Not sure which theater, though. William, thought on filming The Mandalorian season 4 would like to be delayed. I don't want to be repetitive, Jacob, but it's going to be the same for everyone that you add that to. It sucks, but I mean, it sucks. I have the same opinion about that as all these shows because it's not only gonna affect just that one show, it's gonna affect all my shows. We might go into like a barren valley where all we get is reality TV, and I'm already tired of that. There's supposed to be one in LA on Monday for the Platform. Junkie said he's going. See, wow. Monday is only what? Oh, Monday's the 22nd. Yeah, I just don't know when they're doing it in Vegas. I know, I don't know when they're doing it in Vegas. I don't know how many they're doing in Vegas. I just know that we're going to be working with them when they do. So yeah, Monday. As soon as I can go see it, I will. That's for sure. Godzilla movie doesn't have writers. It'll be okay. Yeah, just let the monsters go at it. Isn't Kate Blanchett in the Overwatch movie? I don't know. All right. I once again it's a Hollywood Reporter, so you guys know where I put them on the priority list. It's just not high as far as actual information that may be coming out. So until I hear it from James Gunn, to me, I'm pretty much gonna ignore a lot of this other stuff until he makes an announcement. Spider-Verse coming out this year or next year? This year. Across the Spider-Verse comes out on June 2nd. Jeebus, what's going on? I wouldn't call him a clown. Listen, people have the right to make their own business decisions. Now, we as consumers have a right to decide whether we're going to continue to listen or watch or not. But I don't, I can't. I'm not in his shoes. I don't, I don't live his day, so I can't really, fault him. I'm not happy with the decision, but I understand. William thought of Michael J. Fox says he doesn't think Back to the Future needs rebooting because are you going to clarify something? You're going to find out a better way to tell a story? I doubt it. No, he's 100% correct. Let's see. Did he do Terminator 3? Because Terminator, did he? I think he produced Terminator. Terminator 3 was one of my favorite movies. What did he do Terminator 3? Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines. Wow, it's been 20 years since that movie came out. Nah, he didn't direct. He wasn't a part of 3, and I like 3. So I mean, you can do Terminator without James Cameron. You just got to do it right and got a better story. Because the last 3 sucked. But there's James Cameron stuff that I mean, it doesn't. He's not essential to the franchise anymore. It's settled. All my movie screenings will be at the Sci-Fi Center. Like I said, I won't be screening at the center. We'll be screening it at probably AMC or Red Rock, but we'll be hosting one. Yeah, he endorsed Dark Fate, and Dark Fate sucked. I don't think he needs to. I mean, if he does, great. But I don't think if there's a Terminator story, a great screenplay on the table, whether if I were going to go ahead of it would be contingent on whether I could get him as a director. That's all I'm saying. All right, I'm not much of a comic reader on DC and Marvel comics, but I do get some understanding of characters on John Campbell Show and Cosmic Wonder Channel. Yeah, and like I said, you have Chris Carr on there, who is a comic book collector. Ray Ora is a comic book collector. John Campy is not, but he had there with him. And to be honest with you, when he had Robert Burnett, and I've had him on our show, is a comic book guy. He does read this stuff. If you watch the Burnett work, he covers a lot of things. I really think, like I said, this show took a hit when he wasn't a part of it. But once again, it was a business decision that they made. I did not like Salvation. I didn't like Salvation. I didn't like Genesis, and I didn't like Dark Fate. For me, obviously the first three are the best ones, and then the Sarah Connor Chronicles, the TV show, was some of the best storytelling Terminator wise. Period, whether it be movie or TV show, and the fact that Fox boneheaded managers at the time were canceling everything that was good. That's what really hurt that one. All right, let's see. What do we got going on here? All right, guys, I'm going to take a quick break. Here's something else new that I've added. I'm going to take like 2 minutes to go grab something to drink real quick because I didn't bring my drink over here, but I'll be right back. Aha. All right, I'm back. Okay, so let's see. Salvation wasn't bad, but it felt to skip so much of the story. Wanted to see the humans crawl out of the Judgment Day rubble and form the resistance. Uh, I just thought it was. I mean, like I said, that was just a generic. I don't know. I just didn't like that movie. But to each his own. It wasn't great. And then, like I said, Dark Fate was just bad. And see that, and for me, the third movie in the Terminator franchise, I rather enjoyed. I liked, um, I liked Rise of the Machines because it explained in the timeline situation properly for the first time that they did something that they did not do in the first two movies to make you understand the reasoning of why Skynet was doing what it was doing and why it couldn't be stopped and why Judgment Day was inevitable. The other movies did not do that. Two definitely needed to do that because once Dyson died and once Cyber9 was destroyed and those pieces of the Terminator were melted, then John Connor should have disappeared because there's no reason for him to be there. There's no reason for ever send Kyle Reese to that time period to meet her to ever have him. So everything should have disappeared. The only thing that should have been happening is she should have been riding on a little scooter at the end of the movie with none of that ever happening because none of it ever would have happened. Everything would have disappeared. She's the only constant in the Terminator franchise that would have existed without Skynet and the Terminator coming back. And once you destroyed Skynet, or what will become Skynet, then the series should have ended, but it didn't. And in Terminator 3, they told you why. Because they were never supposed to find that chip that they found earlier. They found it, and that's what brought Judgment Day It happened sooner, but Judgment Day was always going to happen. It's just that when they found the means to recreate the Terminator, when Dyson found that created it in 1984, and that is where it started. But it was always going to happen because it was software that that general her father-in-law or his father-in-law had created that no one knew about until it was too late, and no one could trace it back. So I liked Rise of the Machines. T3 had too much comedy. Made no, it didn't. T2 made T2 obsolete. To be honest with you, and it really didn't make it obsolete. It what they did in T2, if you're respecting the intelligence that you had from T1 and T2, what happened at the end of T2 couldn't have happened. There had to be another part of Terminator in order for that to not be be devalued. Otherwise, like I just explained, if there is no T3, if there wasn't an intention to tell a third part of that story, then T2 makes no sense. You can't have what happened at the end of Terminator 2 and them all walking away all happy driving off into the moonlight. That can't happen. And they explain to you why it can't happen, even in T2. So no. I spent too much on figures today. I only wanted to get some Spider-Verse figures, but they had Chainsaw Man. You talking about pop figures or just outright figures? But yeah, dude, any type of figures is addictive, man. Yeah, well, and he like he said in Terminator 3, Judgment Day was inevitable. I didn't come here. We didn't come here to stop Judgment Day. I came here to make sure that you guys survived it. Yeah, Judgment Day happened later. In Terminator 3, when her father, the Air Force general, that was when Judgment Day was always supposed to happen. But when Skynet sent that Terminator back and his pieces got left behind, it caused the situation. It expedited it. So instead of it was always supposed to happen in 2003, but instead it happened in 1997 or whatever because of the technology being where it wasn't supposed to be. So even though they destroyed the Terminator, destroyed all that stuff, they made it so that Judgment Day wasn't going to happen early, but it was going to happen no matter what. It didn't matter from where you're at in the future, as far as Kyle Reese and John Connor, all that. It didn't matter whether it happened in 84 or 97 or 2003. It didn't matter because from their point, it's all the same result. So that part doesn't change. So unless you were able to kill that general earlier on before he created the programming, you were always going to have Judgment Day. You were always going to have Skynet. You were always going to have them sending Terminators. And the Terminators, the Skynet, ironically, could not figure out its own logic. They basically sped up their demise by continuing to send, Terminators back. They created the reason why John Connor exists, and he's the one that ends up, helping defeat them. Let's see. Time travel movies, the ones that do it wrong hurt my brain. The ones that do it right, and Terminator did it right, it can be very entertaining. Judgment Day was supposed to happen August 20. No. Okay, Judgment Day, based on when it would have originally happened. Yeah, you're right. Would have happened when, had Dyson not destroyed everything. But remember, after Terminator 2, they waited for Judgment Day and it never happened because that Judgment Day had been averted. The Judgment Day that was always going to happen hadn't been averted. The one that happened in 2003 hadn't been averted. And that's why at the end of Terminator 3, it happens. They didn't stop Judgment Day. They just postponed it, is what it was. Fate is only illusion and time. Ooh, that's a tattoo right there. T2 sealed off the journey part 1. There's only Fate part 2. Fate is only what make ourselves. Yeah, no. Although I love that saying because they use it in Sarah Connor Chronicles. But if something was supposed to happen, the way they set up their linear timeline, if something's supposed to happen in 2023 or 2003, and something happens to make that something happen sooner, that gets undone, right? but the Judgment Day was all was going to have. See, they didn't understand that. They didn't understand. They didn't know that. They always assumed that everything that in their vicinity of time was going to lead to Judgment Day. That if they had killed John Connor or all that stuff, they didn't realize that. No, that wasn't the case. None of us did. All right, man. See you later, Viking. I got Sentinel Miles Morales and Peter B. Parker, but they had MFX Spider-Gwen and Peter Parker, so I picked those up too. Yeah, no, T3 did justify. No, T3 did what T2 couldn't do or didn't do. That's all. And if you watch the show, I don't know if you guys have watched Sarah Connor Chronicles, Terminator. That show even goes further in depth explaining it, and that show was great. I mean, I wish all the people are still alive. I wish somebody could buy the rights and continue that. This show is great, and it got canceled because Fox was a bunch of knuckleheads. The Flash hopefully is as clear as possible in its time travel rules. Probably won't be because it's comic book bullshit, but Arnold said you prolonged it. Oh, no, you postponed. Shut up, man. Yeah, you just trolling me. The real Skynet was the producers. All right, where are we at? No, the third one was canon. What you're talking about there, Fourth? Fourth just enjoys being wrong. Let's start making like a trophy, like a little medal for Fourth every time he's wrong, so you can just collect them. Like you collect those membership badges on Facebook. Give Fourth a wrong badge for every time he's going to collect them bad boys real quick. All right, guys. I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. Tomorrow's going to be today is going to be a weird day. This Contra thing that they're throwing in, I'm going to be there all day. I guess no customers can make it in. I'm not sure unless they come in through the back end, through the current side, so they can still get there. So I'll still be open, but it's like I was hoping this would be a benefit for us, but the way it's running, it just seems like it's going to be a headache. But hopefully I can report to you tomorrow from the actual concert itself, with selfies and stuff, and, be pleasantly surprised. But other than that, I'm going to go to sleep. Gonna take a couple Benadryls because the allergies are starting with me again. That's it. Got some big shows planned for the weekend. I'm still working on getting those guests for both the Star Trek show and our overnighter. So stay tuned. Yeah, fourth would literally have a crown. We might just get him a crown like the Burger King crown. I'm glad I was able to relax you, Aaron. All right, guys. Well, other than myself, there's another fan of this outro. So here it goes. I'll see you guys later.